everyone and welcome to my channel. For this video, I have curated a very long list of crochet projects that I genuinely want to make in 2026. And I say genuinely because I am guilty of crocheting things that I never end up wearing. And not only am I wasting a lot of time, but I'm also wasting a lot of money. And in this economy, girl, that is a big no-no. In 2025, I really tried to bust out my yarn stash as much as I could and finally finish some very old whips that I had. I still have a yarn stash, but it's definitely not what it used to be. And honestly, I feel free. Like I can walk into a yarn store, buy yarn, and not feel guilty about it anymore. To keep track of all the projects that I'm currently interested in making, I decided to use Milanote for that. And we are going to start off with this pattern called Chaqueta de Selena. This pattern is made by one of my favorite Hispanic crocheters here on YouTube. Her channel's name is Tejer es de Guapas, which I believe in English that translates to knitting, crocheting is for gorgeous girls. But I have been wanting to make this pullover for so long. If there's two things about me is that one, I love lacy florecita garments, and two, I love pullovers. And what makes me love this pullover even more is that it's made using one of my favorite pullover construction techniques, which is basically one very long rectangle and then you fold it in half. That way you have the front and back panel done. And then you take your arm sleeve measurements, unfold the rectangle, mark the measurements, and work from side to side until you get your sleeve length that you want. And you fold everything together and then you sew the sides. This is my favorite technique because I love the way that the sleeves sit on the arms. Some pullover sleeves have too much extra fabric hanging from the sides, and I personally hate that. Fun fact, that was actually a huge trigger for me when I was younger because I was really skinny. When I was in elementary school, I never took my jacket off, mainly for two reasons. One, my skinny arms, and two, I had dark arm hair. Literally anyone that you can imagine, friends, family friends, boys, teachers, strangers, would point out how skinny I was. Shirt sleeves would never hug my arm. There would always be a bulk of fabric hanging from the side. When I got to high school, that kind of went away. People would still point it out, but because I've heard it so many times, literally since elementary, it just got to a point where it didn't bother me anymore. Low key, now it's starting to become a trigger again because I do suffer from a couple of gut issues and I've lost a lot of weight because of them. And now every time that I put on clothes that don't fit me the way that they used to, I am reminded of the chronic illness that I have, that the world tells me I will never heal from because apparently there is no cure, which I don't really like saying that out loud because I believe there's power in the tongue. I believe in God. And if I believe in God, then I should have faith that He will heal me. Matter of fact, I'm already healed and that He will protect me from all deadly diseases. He protects people that trust in His name, Psalms 91. But if I look at the bright side of the situation, I have the ability of making my own clothes. I have the ability of making clothes that fit me in a way that I want them to fit and that make me feel good. Ropa should fit us, not the other way around. We shouldn't have to change ourselves or have to force our bodies to fit into clothing. As you can see over here, I've actually already started and I decided to go with this brown color yarn. Now in 2026, I do have a goal of crocheting a more colorful wardrobe because I'm at a point in my life where I want more color on me and around me, which I will get into that later. But I did decide to go with this neutral color for this pullover because one, I don't really own a lot of brown clothing, and two, I already have other projects that are going to be very bright and colorful, which you will see later on in the video. That being said, I don't think that by having 1 to 2 neutral color garments will interfere that much with the crochet goal that I've set for myself. But let's move on to crochet project number 2. And what would you know, my next crochet project is another lacy garment with a floral motif, and it is called the Daisy Bell Top Bell Sleeve Edition by Maggie Crochets. What caught my attention the most from this pattern are obviously the bell sleeves, and now there are a lot of tutorials out there as to how to make bell sleeves, but I've never seen bell sleeves like the ones from this pattern, and I'm really interested to see how they're made. Instead of trying to figure it out myself, I'm just going to buy the pattern and make my life easier. And instead of making long sleeves, I'm thinking about ending the sleeves right around here. I love sleeves that end near the elbow or mid forearm. This is also a 2-in-1 pattern. You don't have to make the long sleeves. You can just leave it as a top, and even that by itself would be super cute. But yeah, I'm super excited to make this pattern. The next project that I want to make are sequin tops. Oh my gosh, I love sequin tops. I think that they're very fun and eye-catching. When my mom migrated to the States, sequin tops were really in, and those were some of the first pieces of clothing that she bought after moving here. She had a whole collection of them, and now that I'm an adult, I would love to build my own collection as well. There are multiple styles and colors that I want to make, like for example, tank tops, spaghetti straps, halter tops, one shoulder tops. I also would like to experiment with different sizes and shapes of sequences, not just the circle shape ones. A couple months ago, I made a beaded top. Unfortunately, the beads were poor quality. They don't really shine that much, but I did write everything down so that when I actually make a sequence top, the process is a little bit more easier because I like things to be structured. I don't like to wing things and add a piece of sequence here and another piece over there. I like things to look, I don't know, coordinated. Oh, and a sequence bag for sure. I would love to make a sequence bag. I had a bunch of them when I was a kid. From the pictures, it looks like the sequin tops are made out of crochet thread, which is perfect because I love crochet thread. If I had to pick one yarn to crochet with for the rest of my life, it would be crochet thread. And I know that sounds crazy, but I love it. And speaking about crochet thread, I would love to finally learn and finally make a filet crochet top. Filet crochet was really trending last year. Unfortunately, I did not get around to making one because I don't really hop on trends. It normally takes me a while to get into them. But lately I came across this specific tutorial and I would love to recreate it. I love the swan and butterfly design. And the best part about this top is that it is closed at the back. I personally hate backless tops. The front, very pretty. The back, girl, it's giving apron on me personally. I'm sure we have all seen this butterfly top on Pinterest and I believe it's filet crochet. I would really love to make it. However, how the heck do you change colors in filet crochet? Is it the same as normal crochet? I'm not sure. I haven't really seen any tutorials out there. I'm gonna have to do my research on that. But hopefully this is the year that I finally learn how to filet crochet. In 2026, instead of making a boring double crochet top or a basic bag, I would love to add different kinds of embellishments to bring them more to life. I would love to attach things like flowers, vines, buttons, zippers, fish appliques, I don't know, just decorate the surface with embroidery and other texture details. I feel like adding these elements to your garments or your bags would give them a little bit more personality, more dimension, more color, turning a basic garment, basic bag into something more unique and expressive. For Christmas, I made my kittens this little deer inspired hat, and to make the little Christmas ornaments, I used this embroidery technique called, what is it called? The French knot. It was really calming and fun, and it got me thinking, why don't I learn how to do embroidery so that I can add it to my crochet? Next up, we have tapestries. Now, I've never made a tapestry before. I have done tapestry crochet, but not an actual tapestry that you hang up on the wall. If you guys look behind me, then you could see that the walls are filled up with pictures of my favorite animated shows and films. But I also have another wall over here that is completely empty, and I would love to crochet tapestries so that I could fill up some of that empty space. To keep the theme going, I would love to make the tapestries inspired by my favorite animations as well. I am currently thinking of crocheting this Black Bulls flag from Black Clover. I love Black Clover. The Black Bulls are so inspiring. And I would also love to crochet something for my hero, which happens to be the first anime that I ever watched. If you guys don't know, I am Latina. I grew up watching Telemundo, Univision, Televisa Productions, El Canal Sorpresa. Unfortunately, I did not grow up with Asian media. I didn't get into it until I want to say my freshman year of high school. That's when I started getting into, of course, anime and K-pop and K-dramas and so on. But yeah, I want to make the tapestries inspired by my favorite animations that hold a very special place in my heart. I would also love to experiment with different tapestry crochet styles instead of only using single crochet. Like for example, I would love to try out cross stitch tapestry, bubble stitch, corner to corner, Tunisian tapestry crochet. I've never tried these techniques before, so I am excited to learn them. To make the tapestries, obviously I have to follow a grid, but I would also love to make a grid of my own. I am planning on making a design inspired by Hunter x Hunter. I think Hunter x Hunter has one of the coolest character designs. The whole anime itself is very unique. It is a complete deconstruction of typical shonen anime. And speaking of anime, I would really love to crochet a anime inspired cardigan. I have seen so many people, so many girls on TikTok and on Pinterest make cardigans inspired by One Piece, like for example Luffy, Zoro. But I have to say, the one girl that has really been inspiring me and pushing me to make one is Crystal from Crochet Chris here on YouTube. Oh my gosh, I really want to make one for myself. The one thing that I'm dreading is obviously the math work and probably the grid alterations that I'm going to have to make. We will see how that goes down. Will it take forever? Yeah, probably. Will it be worth it? I think so. The last anime inspired thing that I would really love to make is this Fruits Basket Zodiac Animal figurine plushies. Fruits Basket is one of my favorite animes of all time. I have watched it probably about 20 times. I finish it and then I rewatch it again. I don't know if I want to make the plushies out of acrylic yarn or plush yarn. I have made Toru Honna as a rice ball with acrylic yarn, but I do think that plush yarn would make it look better. I have to make a cat, a rat, a horse, a snake, a dog, an ox, a tiger, a rabbit, a seahorse, a boar, a monkey, and a rooster. And yes, I know that sounds like a lot, but it is Fruits Basket and it's one of my favorite animes of all time. It holds such a special place in my heart. And the same way that I'm trying to be intentional with the crochet garments that I make, I want to be intentional with the tapestries, the plushies, and the other things that I want to crochet. And I love amigurumi, so why not? Moving on to blankets. There are two specific ones that I want to make. Number one, a Tunisian crochet blanket. I have lately been obsessed with Tunisian crochet and I feel like it gives a really cool texture. It's a perfect combination of both knitting and crocheting. Normally with Tunisian crochet, the fabric turns out very thick and very dense, which that is exactly what I want my blankets to feel like. I want them to keep me warm and keep the cold out. The next blanket that I would really love to make is another 6-day star blanket, which I plan on making one very soon. Not for myself, but for my baby nieces. My sister recently decorated their room and she asked if I could make them a blanket, and I was like, girl, buy me the yarn and I'll make you the blanket. And I have to move quickly because apparently the cloud yarn from Karen that a lot of people use to make the 6-day star blanket that I have personally used is getting discontinued. I'm not sure, but if that's the case, girl, I need to hurry up and get it. Moving on to wearables. Again, I would really love to make this raglan cardigan by this creator right here. I don't want to butcher the name. She has a free tutorial here on YouTube, and man, I haven't worn a garment with a zipper in a very, very long time. I think the last time that I did was when I was 15 and I'm turning 22. So it's been a long minute since I've worn a jacket. But the girl that made this pattern, she has posted a couple of TikToks of her wearing it and it looks really cozy and comfy. And I also saw Celeste from Celeste Nook here on YouTube make one. I believe she made it for her boyfriend, but that also looked really good and I would love to make one for myself, especially since I don't own anything like it in my closet. And this will probably be a project that I will start in the fall so that when winter comes around again, I can actually wear it. Moving on to things that I've never crocheted, but I want to in 2026. Hopefully this will be the year that I finally crochet a dress. I have been wanting to crochet a dress for so long, but there's so many options out there that it honestly puts me off. Not in a bad way, but there are so many beautiful patterns out there. I don't know which one to pick type of way. So I just put it off because again, there's so many beautiful patterns out there. But I'm just gonna put a bunch of my favorite ones on the screen so that maybe you can help me choose one. I'm not sure which dress pattern or color palette I'm going for, but what I do know is that I want to make it with cotton yarn, obviously. Maybe from the store Hobby, I'm not sure how you pronounce the name of that store. But I have seen a lot of people, a lot of crocheters, a lot of knitters buy from there. But then again, I hate online yarn shopping. Mainly because of the shipping and the tariffs. Being able to make your own clothing is such a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful experience. However, it can get pretty expensive. In this case, I would have to buy a pattern, buy multiple skeins of yarn, and then pay for shipping / tariffs. I don't know, girl. I don't know. We will cross that bridge when we get there. I know this may sound a little boring to some of you, but I've been crocheting for 4 years now and I still haven't made a flower bouquet. I think crochet flower bouquets are so elegant and beautiful, especially when people wrap it around that bouquet style paper and it makes it look like an actual flower bouquet that you would buy at the store. Only these ones will last me forever and they won't kill my cats. There are so many themes to choose from. I would love to make a Steven Universe theme one. I'm not sure yet if I want to make it inspired by Rose Quartz or if I should include other characters in there as well. A Rapunzel flower bouquet, oh my gosh, that would honestly make me cry. Rapunzel is one of my favorite Disney princesses of all time, and I've seen multiple people make a Rapunzel inspired flower bouquet. I think that this is a long overdue crochet project, but one that is going to be very nostalgic for me. Lastly, we have ponchos. Now, similar to filet crochet, ponchos were also trending in 2025, but unfortunately I never got around to making one. Recently, I have really been influenced by this girl Alyssa on TikTok, and I came across a video where she showed all of the ponchos that she's made, and that completely inspired me. The one that caught my eye the most from her video is the Clover poncho made by Molly. It looks incredibly beautiful. I even dreamed about it, you guys. Like, that's how badly I want to make it. It's very lacy and it has little florecita motifs, which, surprise, surprise, as you can guess, it's my favorite combination. Obviously, I'm going to make this with crochet thread, and for the color, I'm either thinking red or red wine, which I will show you guys why in a minute. But I may film a little vlog of me making this poncho because I would really love to wear it to a concert that I'm going to, which I'll give you guys a hint of what concert I'm going to. BTS! Oh my gosh! Oh, I never thought the day would come that I would go to a BTS concert and see them in real life. Oh my gosh. But we shall see if I end up making it part of my outfit for the concert. I also want to make this other poncho that I've seen other girls make, and it is made by no other than the Laura Cepeda, la mamá de las mamás when it comes to crochet. She is one of my favorite Latina crocheters here on YouTube. I highly recommend her patterns. I'm sure that a lot of you have seen her patterns out there in your algorithms. I want to make this poncho with thicker yarn, maybe the Hobby Lobby's Yarntopia yarn. I have been wanting to crochet something with it for a while now, and I think that this is the perfect project to make it with. Another person that has really been inspiring me to make a poncho is this girl Nat from TikTok. She makes the most gorgeous, sparkly, lacy ponchos, very Y2K, and she has a 3-in-1 pattern, meaning you can make the garment as a top, as a poncho, or as a skirt, and all versions look really cool. I think her designs are perfect if you're looking for something to elevate your outfit. Next on my list is to make one of these cute cottagecore cardigans made by Once Upon a Stitch Nook. First of all, I love that name. And as you can see, the cardigans are very lacy and long, of course. But what really made me want to buy this pattern were the specific themes that she included. For example, she has a mushroom one, a lavender one, a rose and daisy one, and I think it's such a unique design. And I love how you can actually see the mushrooms and the daisies worked into the cardigan. I'm not sure which one I want to make. They're all so pretty, but I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards the lavender one, but the mushroom one is really cute. I don't know. all of these would be perfect for spring. The last project that I really want to make is a butterfly cardigan. Now I have two options, a lacy airy version or a more closed full coverage version. Let's start with the lacy one. It's called the Fairyland Butterfly Vest by Moon Creek Valley. I have been wanting to make this ever since I saw it on Pinterest back in 2023, I think. It is such a unique design. When I think of people that call themselves crochet artists, this is exactly what comes to my mind. Like, how do people even come up with these things? I could never. I'm not really into cropped tops or cropped cardigans. I do prefer things to be long, so I probably won't make mine as short as the picture. But I would love to make this with mohair yarn. I have never worked with mohair yarn because it's a little expensive, and unfortunately I don't have any local yarn stores near me, which means I would have to buy it online, and girl, we already know how I feel about online yarn shopping. But I feel like for this project I have to, because I think it's going to make the vest look even more magical and whimsy-like if I use mohair, if I were to use mohair. The other butterfly pattern that I would really love to make is this crochet monarch butterfly cardigan slash sweater, and it's made by this creator right here. I don't want to butcher the name. I have no words. None. This looks so magical. It reminds me of the Barbie movie Mariposa, which I recently watched. This pattern reminds me so much of Mariposa's transformed wings at the end of the movie, where she finally realizes her self-worth and her wings change. I'm in love. Like, how do people come up with these things? Oh my gosh. I can't imagine how much work she put into this, or how many trial and error moments she must have went through. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like she loves butterflies. She has this book cover and crochet back that is also shaped like a butterfly. I would love to crochet the butterfly book cover. I believe she has a free tutorial on YouTube. Bueno, chicas, these are all the projects that I genuinely want to make in 2026. Of course, I want to crochet other projects as well. I'm sure that as the year goes by, more people are going to come out with different patterns. But for now, these are my priorities. Hopefully this video keeps me accountable. In a perfect world, I would love to finish one of these projects each month, but I'm not sure. Some of them might take me longer than that. If you have any projects that have been living in your mind rent-free, this is your sign to lock in and to finally make them in 2026. I would love to hear from you guys and what crochet projects you are planning for the upcoming year. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll join me again in my next video. Bye!